I don't remember if he was just born early or if it was a C-section.
Mhm.
But he was super, like he was a tiny baby,
Yeah.
and he had to be in the whole like almost like the incubator thing,
Yeah.
and he's still got repercussions. I think he was naturally born, but he still has repercussions from that.
Mhm.
But my sister, her whole pregnancy had this thing, so she was constantly in the hospital because her blood, I think it was her blood pressure was up super, super, super high, like
Mhm.
dangerously high. Um, so there's a lot of things that can go on, but I've never heard of a 10-year-old delivering the baby of a.
No.
I mean,
That's a new one.
and
That's a
it,
new one.
well, by themselves. There was a story we did, I think, like a month ago,
Mhm.
where it was a little boy was in the room with his mom, like in the hospital
Mhm.
when she was having the baby, and the doctor's like, "Hey, do you want to come here and help?" And the mom's like, "No, no, he doesn't." And he actually helped deliver his, baby brother, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Knocked Up.
No, that's what the
Seth
is that Seth Rogen?
Rogen, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
She's having the baby, and somebody like runs into the room, and they're like, "Oh, and they turn around and run away. That would probably be me. Like, if I was like young and the doctor's like, "You want to do this?" and I'd take one look and go running
Mhm.
out screaming,
Yeah.
"Ah!" But yeah, major kudos to this kid because uh, mm, I couldn't do it.
All I can say is he is set for birthday presents for his brother for life. So anytime he asks for something like "I saved your life,"
Yeah, yeah,
you owe your life for me.
that, that
You're all
that
good.
that little brother will become a servant. Why do I have to get? I don't want to. Remember, I saved your
You wouldn't be here if it weren't for me.
life.
He gets to be a part of that argument.
That's dangerous. Um, no man. Yeah,
Didn't think about that now, did you?
no, I thought about that. I really thought about that when I was doing the title. I was trying to think of a way to make that in the title, and I decided it'd be best not to. Um, so yeah, I mean, speaking of kids, um, in dangerous situations, there were two dogs that um ended up battling a dangerous creature to save a couple kids. We're kind of along the same lines.
Mhm.
So Slayer's a pit bull is oh he was really looking out for his family, um, and I don't know why, but or I don't know if this is actually her name, but I copy and pasted, so it probably is Melissa Butt. Her last name's Butt. Um, so Melissa's so confident in her dog that he knows what to do, that she tells her younger grandkids that nothing bad will ever happen, to them with this dog. His name's Slayer around. Um, and on August 13th, that was really tested. Um, and Slayer really proved it. Because he knew exactly what to do, and um, what had happened was I'm trying to see, there was a snake, and I'm trying to remember which one it is. Um, but there was a snake that was the dog spotted, um, and he was starting to go after the kids, and the dog got his attention. He attacked. Um, he had oh, it's a copperhead. That's what it was. Um, so the I guess they're not sure what kind of snake it was, but they said it was a copperhead. But the dogs began barking at it, and they were kind of like barking at, like they said something or something in the grass. And I'm trying to get the words, and I can't get I can't think of the right words. Um, and so these dogs were barking at the grass, and when you have a dog, you know when it's urgent, and when they're just barking at nothing.
Yeah.
Like Charlie has a big bark, and when he uses his big bark, I usually reach for my handgun. You know what I mean? Because it could be someone trying to hurt me, or someone he doesn't know, he's unfamiliar with at the door. Um, so but he's got a big bark, and so as a dog owner, you know when it's something serious. Um, so the they went to check and see what was going on, and the dogs were standing over a snake, and the snake went and bit both dogs. One was Paco, and the snake got him in the elbow, and Slayer got bit on the snout. Which if you go click on the link in the description below and actually look at the story, his mouth got huge. Um, and so I guess that's when Slayer grabbed the snake with his mouth and just killed it.
Dang.
Yeah, pretty brutal, right? But it was to save his dog. So they rushed him to the regular vet. But because it was a snake venom and that's very serious, and it was getting more serious. The more time passed, they and like I said, Slayer's face swelled up really bad. It looked almost like a cartoon. It was huge. And then he started getting labored breathing. So the regular vet recommended a emergency vet, which I've been to one of those before. Those are pretty good. It was about 40 minutes away. So they were kind of worried whether he'd be able to make it or not. But they ended up getting there, and he was treated. I'm trying to see. They were both treated. Paco's wasn't too bad, but the other one was Slayer's was like I said, his mouth was huge. So the doctors, acted fast, and they ended up they did save both of the dogs. And there was a group that heard about this story, and it was called Frankie's Friends. And they're a nonprofit that helps cover extraordinary medical costs for pets. And so they covered the cost of all the treatment for both the dogs. And yeah, this was kind of a big story.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures of the dog Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
That venom bite. So.
Yeah.
And it's weird when you see it because I know this is a little bit different, but I got a very small dog, and she got stung by a bee one time.
Right.
So I saw her, and I don't even know how it happened exactly because the bee was in the house, and
well, that's how it happened. The bee was in the house.
Well, she was chewing on it, like she was chewing on something. Then I had her spit it out. It's like, and a bee was sitting there. And then I was just looking, I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I, tossed the bee out to keep her from, messing with it. It was dead at that point. And I was just looking at her, I'm like, her face is getting, like, larger and larger. Like, this doesn't look natural.
Right.
And then we ended up calling the vet, and they took her in, and I think it may have been, like, an allergic reaction for her. But, yeah, it's like, what? I don't know. For me, it's kind of scary because, like, I don't know what to do for, like, the pet. Like, if it's a human, yeah, I just rush you to the hospital. It's like, is this a serious thing? Is this something that'll, wear off? Like, I have no idea.
See, April and I are the run to the emergency vet kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we went once with Charlie. Because when we moved into the house, the person that we bought the house from knew we were moving in with dogs, and we had thoroughly gone through the upstairs, and we thought we'd thoroughly gone through the downstairs. Turns out we hadn't.
Yeah.
There was one cabinet we hadn't opened, and I just left it closed. I was debating whether I was going to use it, tear it out, or whatnot. And a friend of mine had opened it up and put some stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Being helpful, and it was helpful. That stuff's still there. And what I didn't know was there was a thing of rat poison somewhere in that cabinet.
Oh.
And Charlie likes to eat. He doesn't want to eat the contents of boxes. He just wants to eat the boxes. Like, he likes cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was bad because he wanted to eat the cardboard of the rat poison, which he did. I found it, but I'm like, what are you chewing on? And I stood up, and the box was almost gone, but it was spread out on the floor. And originally I thought it was cat litter, but then I looked over, I'm like, that's blue. What is that? And I picked up the package, and we spent a couple minutes trying to figure out what he was eating, because I knew it was something serious.
Mm-hmm.
We figured it out. We immediately called the emergency vet, which is right down the street, because it was very late at night. And they said, well, you guys can either try to make him throw up yourself, but we recommend you bring him in. So we took him in, and they made him throw up, and it was horrible because it's a very small place. Sometimes you can hear.
Yeah.
Like, if he's in there and he barks, we can hear him.
Yeah.
And we could hear him, like, whining, and he'd, like,
Mm-hmm.
you'd hear him throw up, and then he would whine again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, my puppy. So then I immediately came home, and I searched everywhere high and low for any more, and I did find one more box. But so we immediately jumped. We were kind of cautious about that. But then Aiden, one of our little Yorkies, was acting really weird. We were laying in bed, we were sitting on a couch, and he just peed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was just laying down, and he just peed, and we're like, this is super weird. Like, he is, one of the 2 dogs that go actually outside to the bathroom. He will never pee inside unless he's in his kennel, or he absolutely has to go, and we're not listening to him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not very vocal about when he has to go outside. He just kind of has these signs, and so you just got to know to look for him so that he can go outside.
Yeah.
And so we're like, what's going on? So we immediately took him to the vet. It turns out he just didn't poop. He didn't want to poop. Yeah, no, it was the vet was like, we got kind of scared because she moved us into this room and she wanted to show us the X-rays. And we're like, well, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was serious, and she came in. She's like, well,
your dog's blocked up.
She's like, I'd like to tell you I found something. I didn't find anything. She said he is perfectly healthy. She showed us the X-rays, and she's like, he's got some gas bubbles built up, and there's some poop. And so I thought maybe it was stuck. And she said, so I checked, and she's like, it wasn't hard or anything, so it shouldn't be stuck. She said, so I have no clue what's wrong. And I said, well, what's wrong is he's too stubborn, because apparently he just doesn't want to poop.
So what ended up happening?
We paid $200 because he didn't want to poop. We watched him for a few days, and she gave us a couple things to try, and he ended up pooping, and he was fine.
So he just needed a laxative, and that's it.
Right. It wasn't even that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there was nothing wrong with it. Like I said,
Yeah.
she stuck her finger up and checked, and it wasn't hard or anything. It's not like it was stuck.
That's
And I'm like, dude, we just. I had to talk to him on the way home, because him not wanting to poop and us spending $200 to find that out is not okay.
Yeah.
Because we had to pay an emergency vet bill just because he didn't want to poop. But it's because they took X-rays, because they couldn't find anything wrong with him. But once we told them, they're like, well, we're gonna have to take X-rays. We're like, that's fine. We just want to figure out what's wrong. And there's nothing wrong. He was just stubborn. So yeah. Anyway, so back. So
away from your dog's poop and back to the story.
Right. Well, it's still about dogs. I didn't get that far off track. No. Anyway, but so vet bills are very, very, very expensive. So I'm kind of glad that there's a group out there like this that for something like this. And it did prove
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
And it did prove the loyalty of this dog.
Mm-hmm.
It did prove that he's always watching out when they're out, when he's with them. and